your host, Ross Benjamin. This is my Tuesday, January 21st NHL Picks of the Day segment. I have two selections on tap. Let's get right to them. We're going to start with the game between the Ottawa Senators and the Washington Capitals, a game that will take place in Washington, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. Well, the Ottawa Senators in their previous game were a 4-1 home loser to the New York Rangers. And that's pretty significant from this standpoint, folks. The Ottawa Senators have gone over the total in 13 of their 14 games this season after a loss by 2 goals or more. Now, the Washington Capitals will be facing an Ottawa Senators team tonight that has a money line win percentage of .429. That's significant from the Capitals standpoint in the fact that Washington has gone over the total in 10 of 12 games this season versus an opponent with a money line win percentage of between .400 to .490, which Ottawa qualifies in that regard. In addition, we have a NHL betting total system, a solid one at that. And it says anytime you have a home team that's playing in the second half of the season, like the Washington Capitals are, they have a money line win percentage of between 400 to 490, like Washington does, and they've lost 4 or more games in a row, like the Capitals have. They've gone over the total in 36 of those 48 games since the 96-97 season. That's a system that has passed the test of time with flying colors, and we're going to stick with it. We're going to take the Washington Capitals and Ottawa Senators to go over the total of 5.5 tonight. My next selection comes in the game between the Florida Panthers and the Buffalo Sabres. This is a Sabres team that's the most anemic offensively in all the NHL, as they're averaging 1.8 goals per game. The Florida Panthers haven't exactly been an offensive juggernaut. Even though they do come off a 5-1 win at Pittsburgh last night, entering that contest at Pittsburgh, the Panthers were only averaging 2.3 goals per game, and that may have gone up a little bit, but not significantly. Now, why is that important? Because the Sabres have gone under the total in all 7 games this season versus opponents that average 2.55 goals per game or less. In addition, this is a Buffalo Sabres team that's being outshot by nearly 8 shots on goal per game by their opponents. That's significant. The territorial advantage the Sabres give up on a nightly basis is enormous. Why is that significant? It's significant in the fact that the Florida Panthers have gone under the total in 7 of 8 games this season versus opponents that are being outshot by 3 or more goals, 3 or more shots on goal, I should say, per game. Now, as far as a betting system that applies to the total in this game, anytime you have a team like the Buffalo Sabres, for example, that has been being outscored by 0.65 goals or more per game and has lost both of their previous 2 games in overtime, like the Sabres have. They're coming off back-to-back overtime losses. They've seen 35 of those 49 games stay under the total. That's 71.4%, folks, since the beginning of the 96-97 season. Not quite as good as the Ottawa-Washington betting system, but still, anytime you have a betting system of 66% or above over that course of time, that's pretty darn good. We're going to go with the Panthers and Sabres under the total of 5. Once again, we're going to take the Ottawa Senators, Washington Capitals over 5.5, the Buffalo Sabres and the Florida Panthers under the total of 5 as our